Formula 2 frontrunner Guanyu Zhou has taken the last available seat on the 2022 Formula 1 grid with Alfa Romeo, where he will line up alongside Valtteri Bottas for his rookie season. The 22-year-old will become the first Chinese driver to race in Formula 1 and comes to Alfa Romeo with significant sponsorship money. So what should we expect from Zhou, and how big an impact could he have both in terms of his driving and on the popularity of Formula 1 in the massive Chinese market? Let us know in the comments below what you expect from Zhou next year and if you think Alfa Romeo has made the right choice. Zhou has been earmarked as a future Formula 1 driver ever since he joined the Ferrari Academy while still in karting back in 2014. He subsequently joined the Renault Academy, now the Alpine Academy, in 2019 and races with its support in Formula 2. He is currently second in Formula 2 driving for the UNI Virtuosi team, 36 points behind fellow Alpine Academy driver Oscar Piastri, with 2 events remaining. His F2 performances, winning 3 races in 2021, mean he is well qualified for Formula 1, but one of the drivers he beat to the Alfa Romeo seat is Piastri. And that's because Zhou also comes with significant sponsorship backing, as well as support from F1 itself, giving the value of a Chinese driver and the likelihood his arrival will lead to a lucrative second F1 race in China being added to the calendar in the future. This is why he has long been at the front of the queue for the drive with a Sauber-run Alfa Romeo operation, even though delays caused by what team principal Frederic Vasseur has described as a complicated contract and the potential sale of the team to Andretti, which is now off the table, have meant a long wait. Now, the long-awaited deal has been completed and announced. Zhou, known in Europe as Joey, has no chance to get into the Alpine lineup for 2022, given the team has Esteban Ocon contracted until the end of 2024 and former double world champion Fernando Alonso on its books. It's understood that there was contact with other teams, including Williams, earlier in the season, but Alfa Romeo was the logical fit for Zhou. The complications surrounding the deal related to the length of the contract, with Zhou and his backers keen for a multi-year deal, but Alfa Romeo only wanting a 1-year commitment. The team has not confirmed the contract length, but it has only referred to Zhou as a driver for 2022. Our understanding is that this reflects the fact the team won the push and pull over contract length, given it was in the strong position of having the only remaining 2022 race seat. And had the deal fallen over, it could have picked up Piastri or stuck with incumbent driver Antonio Giovinazzi, who only learned for sure that he was out after the Mexican Grand Prix. But while Zhou does come with huge financial backing, that doesn't mean he isn't a good driver, as we will explain in a moment, after thanking you for watching this video and supporting the race. It's only the fact that you watch our videos, subscribe to our channel and hit the all-important like button that allows us to do what we do, so it's very much appreciated. And remember, if you want to be one of the first to watch our latest video, hit the notifications bell so you will be informed the moment there's something new to watch. And now, back to F1's newest driver. Zhou is in his 7th year of car racing, having stepped up from karts with Ferrari support in 2015. He impressed in his rookie year in Italian F4, finishing 2nd and winning 3 races. But he lacked consistency across 3 years of European Formula 3, despite winning 2 races in his 3rd season in 2018 and finishing 8th in the championship. At that point, his career was at risk of stagnating, and he even briefly considered a move to Formula E with DS Techeetah, where he was a development driver. That was Zhou's 4th and final year as a Ferrari driver before switching to the Renault scheme alongside a step up to Formula 2, where he scored 5 podiums in a solid rookie year. He again failed to turn that into a title challenge in his sophomore season, but Zhou's 3rd year in F2, on the rebranded Alpine Junior programme, has been much more successful. He's currently 2nd in the championship and has an outside chance of beating Piastri to the title across the final 6 races of the season. While it has taken time for Zhou to fulfil his potential and build himself into a front-running F2 driver, he has consistently improved himself over time during his rise through the single-seater ranks. He still does have a needless mistake in him, most recently spinning on the way to the grid in Sochi, and he's yet to achieve that relentless level of performance produced by recent rising stars who have moved into F1 with great success, such as George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly and Lando Norris. Too often, he hasn't delivered the maximum in key moments in qualifying and races, but that's a question of making the most of the underlying ability he has, rather than fundamentally lacking it. And as he's shown in F2 this year, he has managed to sustain a title challenge, even though he hasn't quite been able to keep pace with Piastri points-wise. So there's no doubt about his speed or the fact that he is capable of adapting to Formula 1 and performing at a decent level. So far, Zhou's experience has been limited to running an old Renault machinery and simulator work, on top of a successful FP1 outing for Alpine at this year's Austrian Grand Prix. There, he attracted praise from no less than Fernando Alonso. His approach, character and attitude has certainly impressed Alpine, and this will serve him well with Alfa Romeo. In Bottas, he has a vastly experienced teammate, and one quick enough to have given Lewis Hamilton a run for his money in qualifying over the past 5 seasons. So despite his progress in the junior ranks not always being as smooth as he'd have hoped, he should have the tools to produce a decent rookie season. Alfa Romeo describes Zhou as a trailblazer who will write a pivotal page of his country's motorsport history. It also refers to him as a role model, given he is China's first F1 driver. There have been a number of Chinese drivers who have flirted with F1 over the years, notably Chinese-Dutch racer Ho Pin-tung, who tested Williams and Renault machinery, as well as having a stint on BMW Sauber's books, and Ma Kenghua, who drove in 5 FP1 sessions for HRT and Caterham in 2012 and 2013. But Zhou will be the first to race. This means that there's enormous expectation in China, where he has already built up a big profile for himself with his rise through the junior ranks. To gauge how important he is for F1, when Zhou had his first FP1 outing in Austria, he suggested there would be more watching FP1 on television in China because of his presence than would watch the race. Backing from China is the biggest reason why he has the Alfa Romeo seat, there's no getting away from that, but F1 has taken a keen interest in his bid for a race drive as well. That potential second Chinese race is now very, very likely, seeing as Zhou is on the grid. While his initial Alfa Romeo deal only guarantees 1 season, expect Zhou to remain on the grid in 2023. It is in F1's interest to ensure he has a long stay in F1, and it's understood assurances have been given that he will be on the grid in 2023 when the Chinese Grand Prix is scheduled to return after 3 years missing because of the COVID-19 pandemic, even if it's not with Alfa Romeo. Given Alfa Romeo has a long-term deal with Bottas and is hopeful that its own academy prospect, Théo Pourchaire, could be ready for a graduation to F1 possibly as early as 2023 after a second season in F2, Zhou could end up moving to a different team in 2023. It's too early to know what the future holds on that score, but should he not stay with Alfa Romeo, Haas could potentially be a good fit. But what matters for China is that firstly it has a driver on the grid for an extended period of time, and secondly that it's in a car capable of at least fighting for solid results. While Alfa Romeo is now in its 8th season, finishing between 8th and 10th in the Constructors' Championship, it is hoped that the new rules next season will allow it to emerge as a stronger midfield runner. The impact of F1 drivers in galvanising support in their country has been a mixed bag in recent years, with Robert Kubica perhaps the biggest success story in building a following in Poland. But drivers such as Indonesia's Rio Haryanto have not had the hoped-for impact in building a market. China is seen as a big catch for F1, and the hope is that it could build on the small foundation built by the well-established Chinese Grand Prix if Zhou does indeed stay in F1 for a long time and perform well. So what impact will Guanyu Zhou make? And could F1 enjoy the kind of growth in China it has recently enjoyed in the United States because of him? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.